Hello everyone, so before this episode starts, I want to say something. Confess something if I can be completely honest. Dim the lights. So, for K-pop University's entire existence, there has been one group that's had more requests than all other groups combined. And judging from the title of this episode and from the cap on my bed, it's BTS. For the 10th episode of this series, I wanted to make it special. However, I've been purposely putting off this episode for quite some time now. It's not that I didn't want to make this episode, I was honestly scared to do it. BTS has such a deep and rich history, and I know how big and powerful the ARMY fandom is. I was terrified that if I got one detail wrong, it would be the end of me. That if I said one wrong thing about either the members or their history, that I'd be eaten up alive. And if I make one slip up on their history, that it would be the end of K-pop University. Making these episodes, not only do they take a lot of time, but they take a lot of courage as well. So in making this episode, I'm under a lot of pressure. A lot more than usual. But guys, if I keep putting off this episode, when will I ever get to it? If I keep this up, this series might die from stagnation. I care about this series since it's my first original one, and teaching about K-pop culture is something I'm really passionate about. All I want to achieve with K-pop University is to both educate and entertain, and most especially to celebrate your favorite artists. If I make a mistake, I didn't mean to do it. I didn't mean to mess up Chungha's member position. I didn't mean to say that iKON used the same actress in their music video. So with that guys, I am not putting off this episode anymore. With this, I'm swallowing my fears and taking this challenge head on. If I make any mistakes during this episode, I do sincerely apologize in advance. Please do keep an open mind during this episode, and if I do make a mistake, please kindly correct me in the comment section down below. The last thing that I want is for a fight to break out in the comments. I care about you all, and all that I want you guys to take away is more appreciation for this group. And maybe something you didn't know about them before? But with that guys, I hope you all enjoy this episode of K-pop University. And please stay tuned until the end for an important announcement. With that lengthy apology aside, hello everybody, my name is Nathan and welcome back to K-pop University. Last class session, we conducted a live stream Q&A answering all of your questions about the K-pop culture. We talked about topics such as the big three entertainment companies and K-pop generations and so many more. And in this class session, we will be talking about the legends known as BTS. Bangtan Sonyeondan, or BTS for short, is a 7-member boy group from Big Hit Entertainment. And you don't even have to be a K-pop fan to know who they are. BTS has garnered international love and attention from music artists such as Wale or Kehlani and Charlie Puth. In short, there is no denying BTS's success and popularity. And today, instead of looking at their discography like I do with most of my K-pop University episodes, we'll be looking at how and why they're so powerful and successful. This will serve as a subjective portion of the video where I get to put my input of where BTS stands. Also in areas where I think where BTS exceeds in and what areas they can do better. But with that said class, let's get started, shall we? So, BTS, Bangtan Sonyeondan, Beyond the Scene, Bulletproof Boy Scouts, however you want to call them, is a hip-hop-centered K-pop boy group from Big Hit Entertainment. Promising the fans with an authentic hip-hop sound, they debuted with a powerful and strong hip-hop image that stuck with them since the beginning. An image that screams to the world that we are BTS and we are here to dominate. With 7 multi-talented members, BTS continues to dominate the music industry. Not only in South Korea, but worldwide. Now, BTS has gone under member and position changes prior to their debut. However, I won't be covering that because it would take too long to go through it all. Instead, you can read about it in my sources in the description down below. With that said, let's look into the members, shall we? Kim Namjoon, or Rap Monster, or Rapmon for short, is the main rapper and leader of BTS. Rap Monster was born on September 12th of 1994 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. Harkening back to what I previously said about BTS's member changes, Rap Monster is the only member from the original lineup. Again, y'all can check out BTS's prior history in the description down below. As his name implies, Rap Monster is indeed a monster in rapping. Not only can he spit fire, but his lyrics are quite deep as well. Rapmon also helps write the lyrics of BTS's songs, and he's also BTS's English speaker. Even though he isn't from the States, Rap Monster is actually really fluent in English. He tries to teach his members English, but...
Hey, Rap Monster, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
So the all rooms don't work. Just talking about some extraterrestrial trials.
Yeah, Jungkook.
Handsome guy, man.
Oh, Jimmy is very no fun.
Inspires, man. Yeah.
Inspire.
Inspire, man. Yeah.
저는 fal이 아니고 fall입니다.
Now during their debut, ARMY or BTS's fandom have noticed that Rapmon consistently wore these pair of sunglasses for every live stage and nearly every comeback. They even began to joke that Rapmon's glasses were surgically attached to his face because he would never take them off even when they're indoors. Fans were joking, are we ever gonna see Rapmon's eyes? But then, that's when Boy in Love era began. What a revelation. Now, I can't talk about Rapmon without talking about his upbringing as an idol. Now guys, have you ever heard the cliche that idol rappers can't rap? That idol rappers are nothing but corrupt, low IQ'd pretty boy facades? You might have heard this trope from the Show Me the Money series. Well, unfortunately, Namjoon was at the receiving end of this. Because of his decision to be part of an idol group, his colleagues shunned him, telling him that he would never make it as an idol and that he won't be able to be a true rapper anymore. Namjoon raps about this in his solo track known as Awakening and unleashes his inner torment and his response to this stigma. His passion as an artist truly shows here, and he proves that it doesn't matter if you're called an artist or an idol, and that he's different from the norm. Underground or idol, Rap Monsters still be rapping non-stop.
Yeah, man, I told you that I'm a monster. That's why I be rapping non-stop. I do want your hands at the concert. What's the fucking damn hands at the concert? Hit me.
Kim Seok-jin, or Jin, is the visual and vocalist of BTS. Jin was born on December 4th of 1992 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. And for those of you who are watching this video straight out of the Billboard Music Awards, yes, he is the third member from the left. Complimented heavily from his good looks and killer side profile, it's no wonder why Jin caught such international attention. Jin is the eldest member of BTS and is likened to being the mother of the group. Funny story about Jin is that he could have debuted as a member of EXO. Now let me explain. When he was just a teenager, Jin was street casted by an SM talent scout. He was urged to do an audition for SM Entertainment, but ended up not doing it because he thought it was a scam. So he ended up running away, and around this time was when EXO was being trained and put together as well. Could you guys imagine Jin as a member of EXO? Jeez, the possibilities, am I right? Park Jimin is the lead vocalist and main dancer of BTS. Jimin was born on October 13th of 1995 and trained for 1 year before debuting in BTS. Even though Jimin was one of the last members to join BTS, it's better late than never. Now, if it's one thing that ARMY remember from BTS's debut, it's his mushroom hair. But really, it would be his abs that he flashed during the No More Dream music video.
This is not okay. This needs to stop now.
Yep. Also, in BTS's early days, Jimin was in charge of the group's stunts. Like Mark and Jackson of GOT7, Jimin could be found tumbling and performing aerials in BTS's stages. Although he doesn't flip as often anymore, there's no denying that he's still a talented dancer. Excelling in hip-hop, contemporary, and many other styles, his prowess is not to be tampered with. Seriously, he was able to dance to J-Hope's solo Boy Meets Evil blindfolded. Call that blindfold see-through or not, Boy in Love is still an immensely difficult dance. Props to you, Jimin. Don't let Rapmon tell you got no jams.
Jimin,
Yeah.
you got no jams.
Kim Taehyung, or V, is the vocalist of BTS. V was born on December 30, 1995 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. V actually trained under Big Hit Entertainment for quite a long time. He just wasn't revealed as a member of BTS until the teasers dropped. Now, if there's one thing that V is known for, it's his stage charisma. No, really, I cannot emphasize this enough. His facial expressions, while considered extra by some, are still regardlessly powerful. V is also known for his deep vocals, and despite having a husky voice, he has an impressive vocal range as well. Jun Jungkook is the maknae, main vocal, lead dancer, and sub-rapper of BTS. We got a triple threat over here! Jungkook was born on September 1st of 1997 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. Being nicknamed the Golden Maknae, Jungkook excels in vocals and dancing and rapping. Also termed as a triple threat, Jungkook's skills are no joke. Really, I'm trying my best to be as least biased as I can here. Cookie is my bias, but I can't emphasize his skill threshold. Just watch for yourself. Right? Now, in a large majority, or if not all of BTS's dance break, Jungkook is placed either as the center or near the center. Arguably one of the most talented maknaes of our time, Jung Ho-suk or J-Hope is the lead rapper and main dancer of BTS. J-Hope was born on February 18th of 1994 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. Now remember what I said about Jungkook and Jimin's dance skills? Now if Jimin or Jungkook aren't the center, J-Hope is. As well as excelling in rap from his background in the underground scene, J-Hope is exceptional in dance. The way he dances is full of passion and power. Sometimes he moves as if he has no bones. It's like music travels in his ears and manifests itself in dancing in its purest form. Now like his name, if you're having a bad day, J-Hope is your hope. No, really, that's why he's called J-Hope. He wants to spread hope for those who don't have it. Whether it be from his performing skills to his great sense of humor, J-Hope is for sure to bring a big smile to your face when life gets you down. Min Yoongi or Suga is the lead rapper of BTS. Suga was born on March 9 of 1993 and trained for 3 years before debuting in BTS. Also originating from the underground, Suga also has another stage name known as Agust D. Now let me explain this name. If you spell Agust D backwards, it'll all start to make sense. Suga's hometown is Daegu in South Korea, or how he likes to call it Daegu Town. This makes sense of the D and T, and the remaining letters are S, U, G, A. Revert it back and you get Agust D. I know, right? Now, if you want to know about Suga's backstory, I am no wrong person to come to, simply because he raps about his rough past with depression and anxiety, social phobia and uncertainty in his Agust D mixtape. I really don't want to ruin such a story for you, and I don't want to get anything wrong. So this serves as all the more incentive for you to check out his mixtape for yourself. I'm linking the mixtape to you guys and I'm leaving it all to you. You guys won't regret listening to it, but I'll give you guys just a little teaser. You ever heard the term started from the bottom, now we're here? Well, Suga is the personification of that. And now everybody, it's time for the newest segment of K-Pop University. Now rather than talking about their discography or every single release that they've had till present day, this new segment serves as a subjective part of this episode, where I get to talk about where I think where BTS succeeds, why they're so successful, and what I believe that they can improve in. I replaced the discography / debut / comeback portion with this segment because analyzing every single comeback song, every single album would take up too much time and this episode would come out to be like an hour. Also, I wanted to have more leeway in the episode where I get to put my own opinions while still bringing education and appreciation to this group. Keep in mind that this is a subjective portion of this episode. It's my opinion on where BTS stands. You may think differently, I may be wrong, and that's okay. But with that out of the way, everybody, let's jump right into the subjective part of this episode. Now guys, BTS is arguably one of the biggest K-pop groups out there. But those who aren't part of the ARMY fandom may be wondering why. What makes this group one of the biggest superpowers in the K-pop industry? Well, in my opinion, BTS not only excels in performance, but in consistency as well. It's a principle that I like to call consistent but new. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, first of all, let's look at all of BTS's albums, concepts, and music videos throughout their entire career. While yes, you can see their concepts change, but you can still see and hear the consistency in their songs. Too Cool for School to Oh Are You Late Too era era. The songs from this era speaks against the harsh school system, tainting the dreams of the youth to the point where they have none. How students slave away at their textbooks, sacrificing their dreams and happiness for being the top of their class, when really are they achieving anything at all? The School Love Affair trilogy speaks of the cycles of emotions that we all go through when we fall in love. It begins as a roller coaster full of up and downs, being angry for no reason, questioning your own actions, and coming to realize that you are in love, and that's okay. And the Most Beautiful Moment in Life trilogy talks of, well, the most beautiful moment in life: youth. Through their music, they portrayed all of the feelings highlighted in our youth, not only through joy and happiness, but through darker emotions like instability and fear. No matter what their concept changes to, you can still tell it's BTS, and their identity is still there. Okay, cool, so they're consistent. So what? Well, one of BTS's main goals is to create music that their fans can relate to gain strength to. Have you ever had just like an amazing day and just like wanted to exclaim your happiness to the world? Then boom, you got dope to jam out to. Or have you ever had a bad day and you're just looking for hope? Then Spring Day and Blah.Zay will help you get through it. As teenagers to young adults, we immediately run to music as a safe haven. It seems that we all need music just as much as we need food and water, and BTS's music caters to exactly that. Their music, in its essence, is relatable. Their albums are directed towards the modern youth. Also, these tracks come in a consistent flow. Speaking from personal experience in standing BTS, I remember being worried about BTS's well-being from the amount of times that they were coming back and how frequent they were coming back. They were making comebacks so fast and so much. Whenever one music video dropped, another one would drop like a couple of weeks to a month later. The gaps between comebacks and albums would be seemingly unnoticeable. It would be like they never left. BTS constantly and consistently provides fans with highly relatable, empowering music, not only for our enjoyment, but for our daily lives. Now personally, aside from a select special few snowflakes, I can't name a single person who doesn't have a BTS song in their music playlists. I believe that BTS's influence comes primarily from the relatability of their music, the overall catchiness of their music no matter what their concept is, and their consistency of their tracks. And now for the areas where BTS can improve in, and frankly, I can't find one standalone thing that BTS is lacking in. Moreover, it's event management and the fans themselves. Now please, don't get me wrong, this isn't the segment where I attack the army. Any K-pop fan knows that that is suicide. I'm including this segment to bring to light what could be improved based on my experiences and observations alone. This is a subjective portion after all. So those who have been following BTS and some of those who have been attending their concerts can relate to this pretty well. Now over the years, BTS has visited several countries for their tours, from their Red Bullet concert to the Wings tour. However, one thing that I've noticed from the ARMY's feedback is that the concert management in the US specifically is rather poor and lackluster. Fans complain that they were denied entrance into the concert for their venue seats being oversold, being left out in the rain, and the staff were being rude and straight up apathetic. The specific venue didn't matter either, New York, SF, Chicago. Now like I said, this isn't BTS's fault. If the management they were put under during their tours were to tweak up their skills just a little bit, fans would be less aggravated, the concert would be more organized, and both the fans and BTS themselves would enjoy the experience all the more. And lastly, the fandom themselves. Ah yes, the fandom. Now I'm aware that I talk about fandom maturity on this channel a lot, but this is a principle that I can't stop emphasizing. Now you don't have to be an ARMY to know what I'm talking about here. Those of you who are active K-pop fans have noticed that there's some members of the ARMY fandom misbehaving on social media. Some even go to the point of slandering other K-pop groups to declare BTS's superiority. Some fans take pride in their group a little too far. Now I want to acknowledge that some of these select few may not actually be real members of the ARMY fandom and might just be internet trolls looking for attention. But fandom maturity still applies here. If you see hate, don't feed it. No one likes their favorite group being dissed at. If I personally heard someone talking smack about Twice or IOI or 101, I wouldn't be in the best of moods either. But if you all took a moment to relax and assess the situation before starting a fan war, fandoms wouldn't look at the ARMY in such a that bad light. I know that the ARMY fandom isn't truly like this, but like all change, it'll take time for the maturity to settle in these fandom groups. Now, I'm not here to provide surefire solutions to these problems at hand, but just some suggestions in mind to help you guys enhance your K-pop experience. So thank you for keeping an open mind and maybe consider what I just suggested. Please think about your actions before sending hate someone's way. And yes, there are many other factors that contribute to BTS's worldwide success and their worldwide influence, from their fandom's inside jokes to J-Hope's silly faces, but I decided to stick with one factor that stood out above them all. Not only for this video's sake of time, but the sake for the opportunity to discuss with these more with you all. But with that, everyone, this has been the very long-awaited BTS episode of K-Pop University. I know it's taken me a very long time for me to release this episode, and I do sincerely apologize for the wait. But regardless, I sincerely hope you guys all enjoy this video. But believe me, it took me such a large amount of mental preparation and emotional preparation in making this episode. I never had to mentally prepare myself so much for a single episode since the IOI one. But this brings up to our announcement. So guys, as this episode is coming to a close, so is this season of K-Pop University. Yes everyone, I am taking a well-needed break from KPU, or at least group-centered episodes of KPU. What is this? He spent months away from K-Pop University only to end it just now? What is this? Now my friend, please hear me out here. Now hopefully, as you guys all know by now, KPU takes up a lot of time, computer space, and most especially courage to make. My goal with this series was not only to just entertain, but to educate you all on the K-pop culture one step at a time. I want to return K-Pop University back to its roots, by answering questions that some new fans might have on the genre, and touching on some things that not even K-pop veterans might not know. You can all look forward to new formats of the show that are quite different from the normal. This is the group, these are their members, these are their songs, enjoy. Nah, new, bigger, and better things are coming your way, everyone. I just want to thank each and every one of you guys and gals. Without you, K-Pop University would never be a thing. What's a professor without his students? So in this season finale, I want to thank each and every one of you guys who have been watching devotedly since the beginning. Even those who just started watching recently. I couldn't have done this without your guys' love and support, and I want to send all of these back to you. So guys, thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure being your professor. But with that guys, this has been the season finale of K-Pop University Season 1. But as always everyone, I want to hear your thoughts. So everyone, why do you think that BTS had such a strong and global influence? What was your favorite episode of K-Pop University thus far? And most importantly, what would you guys like to see in the next season of K-Pop University? Let me know more in the comment section down below. But yes guys, that's my time. My name is Nathan, SYJofficial, and until next season, see you guys next time. Bye.